Okay guys, I want to show you guys how to make a title in Premiere Pro. So go up to Title and New Title and then select Default Still, okay, and you don't have to worry about the other two. You want to keep the video settings in the same way that they are and maybe give it a name so that you can reference it later. Since we're going to do a title for this guy on the top right and his name is or he's the coach of the team, so I'm just going to call it coach just to give me an indication. After that, the box will pop up and you can drag it around and make it bigger so that you have more room to work with. The first thing I usually do is I go over to the rectangle tool, and if you are not seeing the rectangle tool show up, you can go up to Window and select Title Tools, and it should show up for you. So the first thing I'll do here is draw this box, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it black, and I'm going to do what's called lowering the opacity to make it a little bit thinner. As you can see now, I made the opacity 40, so now you can kind of see through it. And this is what I use as a base for most of my titles. It's not required for you guys to do it this way, but this is how I do it. The next thing I do is I select the text tool, and as you can see here, the default text is Adobe Arabic and a font size 100. I'm going to change that to CT Boomer Bold, and I'm going to go a little bit smaller with my text because I need to have two lines and I need them both to fit inside that black box. So I'm going to type in the name of my coach here. His name is Josh Hatmaker. You can see that the title kind of spilled over off into the right hand side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drag it over, and if you see these lines that go around the title tool feature, oh hold on, I'm going to get an autosave real quick. These are your title save guidelines. You basically want to make sure your titles or lower thirds are always within those boxes, so to make sure that they always appear when your video is viewed online or wherever it is viewed. Since I have him here on the left-hand side of the frame looking toward the right, I'm going to have the title there on the right-hand side. If I was to have him or if I was to be doing a title for someone who's looking the other way, like this young man, I would do the title on the left-hand side. Moving back to Coach Hatmaker, the second thing I want to do here is I want to have some kind of description. Now, usually I will do first name, and then I will do something like Glenelg lacrosse coach, which is what his title is here. So I'm going to click my title, my tool thing here, and actually, real quick before I type that, I'm going to. You can see that the color is still the same as the background, so we want to change that to white. And we want to we want to raise the opacity right here back up to 100 so that it's a hard solid color there. Then what I want to do is I want to type in the second level here. So I'm going to type in Glenelg lacrosse coach right under right under where I have his name written, and you'll see that the title also spills over to the other side. So what I'm going to do is here I'm going to realign the title here so that it is aligned with the right hand side, kind of like something you would do in a Microsoft Word document. And then I'm just going to drag it back over to the main area here, and you'll also see that the second title here is the same size and is spilling over to the bottom of that black box. I like to have a little space between the black box and the bottom of the screen. So what I need to do here in order to fix this is I need to make the text for Glenelg lacrosse coach a little bit smaller so that it fits totally in the box. I'm going to go with a size 50 here. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bold off of it so that the top text is a bigger and bold font, and the bottom text is a smaller and not bold font. You can change this with pretty much every font in Premiere Pro. So the other thing is you don't have to have this little black box. If you decide you don't want it, like I'm going to delete it right here, you can just get rid of it. And but you will notice that when you have done it like this, that the text doesn't really pop from the background of the video, and this can be a problem, especially if you have a background that's lighter than this. You really want to make it pop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag, or I'm going to highlight the entire. I'm going to highlight the entire section right here, and I'm going to add what's called a drop shadow down here in my title properties. And you'll see here you can click shadow, and you can actually adjust a lot of things about this shadow. The opacity, for example, if you wanted to make it thicker, you could raise that opacity to 100. I usually do that. You can see how it's a thicker shadow now behind the words. You can adjust the angle, but that's not really necessary. You can see it kind of spinning around. If you think about an axis, that's the same thing. And you can also adjust the distance. I usually like to make the distance very close. You don't want to make it stretch all the way out like this. I usually like to make it about 3 to 5 so that it pops a little bit but not too much. And then you have your title, and it will appear on the left-hand side, and you can drag it down right over your clip in Premiere Pro, right over where you have the person's face. And so that's how you make a title.